You know what I thought of? I go to the movies every week, so I have to tell you guys what I think. I am back to do another movie review. The movie that I just recently went to go see. If you love action, then this is a movie that you need to see. It is so good, you guys. I'm telling you. Another movie review. Now, after watching this review, if you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more of me in my reviews, go ahead and hit that subscribe. Now, the movie that I went to go see over the weekend was Firestarter. Now, Firestarter, why do I keep saying now? Okay, I saw Firestarter over the weekend and it was pretty good. I mean, you had me pulled in when you had Zac Efron in it. He is such eye candy. They call him now a zaddy. And I don't know what zaddy definitely means. It just means like an older type of fine guy that can play the daddy role. Because now, let's face it, we are older if we can see him play the daddy role versus playing High School Musical when we first were kind of introduced to him. And since then, his career has really taken off. One of my favorites is Neighbors. Outside of that, to see him play a father, I mean, I believe child actors make the best adult actors because it just comes natural to them. Now, Firestarter is a remake of a Stephen King movie that came out in 1984. The star of it, I believe his name was Kieth. David Kieth. Yes, David Kieth was the star of it along with Drew Barrymore. And she was so young and cute and adorable. I mean, she's still cute and adorable, but just not so young. But anyway, it is the remake of that. And I would have to tell you that Stephen King would like it, kind of. It was just, I don't know how to explain it. A lot of times people think, oh, well, if you make this remake, it's supposed to live up to how you felt when you saw the first movie, and that's just not going to happen because times have changed. Back then, Stephen King was the man. Him and John Carpenter, they were the men when it came to horror and thriller, but we've had so many people come along the way, it kind of takes away from the classics when you try to remake it. I do understand that maybe you want to show the younger generation this movie or how they can reboot it and put their twist on it, but it just doesn't work. A lot of Stephen King movies worked back then, but they just don't work now no matter what you did to it. I mean, let's start off and let me tell you about the movie. Let's start off talking about the movie. Okay, so these are going to be spoiler alerts. And let me tell you something. The movie is only an hour and 34 minutes. So, you know, it kind of rushes through everything. And it gives you the moral of the story of what's going on. It gets to you really quick. It starts off where these kids, you know, they're not kids, they're college students, and they are doing them clinical trials. That's why I never believe, no matter how much money they ask people to do that, because sometimes that's in the want ads when you're looking for a job or whatever. Sometimes people do it, oh, I'm going to do this clinical trial. You get all this money to try this new stuff. Do not do that, because things like this happen. They were broke college students. They went ahead and did the clinical trials, and these were the side effects. The side effects was having like telekinesis thoughts, or what is it called? Like where you can think of things, you can move things with your mind, and you can telekinesis, you know, it had that type of side effect. But then another side effect, I mean, that is worse enough. But if he tries to move things too much, then his eyes would start to bleed. And you know Zac Efron got those dreamy eyes, so they would start to bleed. And it's like, you got me pulled in with him, because if they would have had any other actor, I don't think people would have even saw it. You know, I don't think we would have even been invested in it if it wasn't for Zac Efron. So let's just put that out there. His body is banging, it's shredded. I mean, he stays on top of his things at the gym. So, you know, it's him, and then he meets another young college student, and she is a part of the clinical trials too. So when you put them both together with all of that background and all that medicine type stuff that was put inside of them, that poison basically that's put inside of them, they got together and had a baby. And they had a baby that could start fires. And even when she's irritated, even when she's mad, she can start a fire. I mean, I put myself in their shoes for only a split second, because if my 9-year-old was able to start fires, I mean, I have on black today, but I would be completely burnt up. Let's keep it real. Kids get mad all the time. So it was hard for her to try to control it. So what they did, they moved around a lot. And I love the fact that he had a job that he can get in any town. And it wasn't being a psychic reader. It was like therapy. It was helping people quit smoking or different things. He would open up a practice every time he went to a new town. So I thought that was a neat little thing they put in there, because he can look into their mind like, you do not want to smoke. And she's like, oh my God, I'm cured. So I think that was a perfect thing that they had him do. The bullying in school, she's a little girl, she's in school, and she can't get mad, she can't get upset. And how hard is that, especially nowadays? Because it takes place now in 2022. And it's just too hard. I mean, the bullying thing, I mean, is it me, or every time you watch a movie, they have bullies to like the 10th level. They have bullies to like the 10th hour. They have bullies like out of control. And the teachers never say anything. I mean, they're calling her freak and stuff because she doesn't have internet. So they're like, freak, and you're stupid. And, you know, they're always calling her names. And of course, the teachers are like, well, ignore them. Don't be bothered with what they think. No, you need to stop these bullies from bullying her. And all this wouldn't have started. But anyway, you know, she gets upset and she's able to start that fire. And it just goes all downhill from there. Next thing you know, the police, forget social services, the police get involved right away. And next thing you know, they're contacting the government and they're trying to get her. So they're on the run, boy. They're just, They're going really fast. After that, it's just a whirlwind. Everything goes so fast because they're trying to get her. They use other people that they have working for them that can do the telekinesis powers. It's kind of like you're giving me kind of like X-Men type of vibes with Professor Xavier, because you got them working for the government. That's how they're able to seek out Zac Efron and his daughter. And it just, that's it. They get it. They get him. They capture him. Next thing you know, they're calling her to come to the place. She's burning people up left and right. I did like that special effects with it, but it's kind of just like, I don't know what people expect. I've read some of the reviews. I don't know what people expect. You got a person that can start fires. Unless you're going to make it a comedy, that's just it. The person burns up, that's it. There's not much to it. But back in 1984, there's a lot to it. It's interesting. It's new. But now we've seen people, I mean, we're the era of X-Men and Marvel and Avengers. We see stuff like that all the time. So it doesn't make us feel like, oh, this is so extraordinary. This is so wonderful. It kind of just gives you that same feeling like, oh, okay. She burns people up, boop, and it's over. I mean, that is it. And you can't get that hour and 34 minutes back. I do not feel that it was wasted. I feel like it was almost a tribute to Stephen King because he has a lot of good movies. I do feel that Stephen King and John Carpenter, you need to leave their movies alone because those movies were good back then. But for you to reboot them now and try to keep the same type of story, the ideas, it just doesn't work in 2022. So I would give this movie about, I want to say, I hate to give vibes. I'm going to give this movie about a 6.5. I got to get the point in there because I did like the acting in it. I like Zac Efron. I mean, who doesn't? They know what they were doing when they pulled him in. I like the little girl. She's a new actress and she really, she's under, she's, what is it called when she's underappreciated. Children actors are really underappreciated. And if you don't know that, you need to look at the story of Raven-Symoné because that's hard to try to learn your lines when you're young like that. So, I think that it deserves a 6.5, but I do believe it's something worth looking at. And like I said, Zac Efron alone, boop, you got to go ahead and see that. I do want to tell you, I will see you guys back in a couple weeks. I got a couple things going on. I know it's graduation time for everybody, and now this is my year by the grace of God. My daughter is graduating from college, and my other daughter is graduating from high school. It's about, I think, 8 or 9 days in between. between those. So I got to go ahead and do that. I got some other things in the works. So I will see you guys back when it is time to do the review. What's that movie that's coming out on the 27th? Okay, Top Gun. Why am I yelling at my daughter over there? She's like, if you leave this in, I'm going to kill you. But anyway, I will be back to do the review on Top Gun. So until then, I'll see you next time.